Doctor, a matchup of a light heavyweight champion, the WBA champ Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, against the undefeated up-and-coming heavyweight 24-year-old Renaldo Snipes. Eddie Mustafa, though, has visions of going further in the heavyweight ranks. He's talking about people like Larry Holmes, Jerry Cooney, Mike Weaver. And we're talking about an Eddie Mustafa Muhammad who comes in ballooned at 201 3/4.
I think Eddie has made the basic mistake that all light heavyweights make fighting heavyweights. He's got 26 3/4 pounds more than his fighting weight, which means he's confused being heavy with being a heavyweight. That single factor can dictate the outcome of today's fight.
All right, the last time we saw Renaldo Snipes was back on NBC's Sports World last March in a decision over Jumbo Cummings that had its surprising moments.
I think they bit him. I think Cummings bit him on the shoulder. He jumped back from a bite.
I can't believe that. Well, Eddie Mustafa Muhammad promises no biting in today's bout. So we're set for the curious confrontation that has certainly caused much discussion among boxing people. In fact, we canvass opinions of many boxing experts.
Well, I have to go with history, Marv, and the history is not good as far as the light heavyweights are concerned. Eddie Mustafa Muhammad could very well be an exception, but he certainly would be an exception to prove the rule.
A good heavyweight can always beat an outstanding light heavyweight.
I think I'll go for Eddie Mustafa. I think he's the stronger and he's the better boxer of the two.
Eddie will knock him out because he's more experienced and he hits harder.
I have to go with Snipes due to the fact he's a heavyweight. I hope Eddie wins, though. He's a super dude. He's a good friend of mine, and I hope he wins, but I think he's taking, biting off a little more than he can chew.
Eddie's a big guy. I don't see no problem at all with him being heavyweight. I'm trying to wonder how you make light heavy so long.
Heavyweights they hit pretty hard, and adding that extra weight makes him a lot more lethal.
Well, in this case, most people are going with the WBA light heavyweight champion, Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. Of course, Renaldo Snipes has other thoughts on this matter.
What do you feel about fighting a heavyweight, Eddie?
It's nothing like it. It's a great opportunity for me to express myself, whereas I'm very tired of being the vice president of the boxing industry. I would like to promote myself to the hierarchy of being the president.
What do you feel about that, Renaldo?
He says he's moving to a weaker division. That's one of the reasons why he's moving to the heavyweight division. So, and he chose me out of disrespect. He could have chose Page, Dotes, Cooney, any of them. So evidently he must think I have the least talent amongst all of them. So that's where we stand right now.
You had an accident last Thursday, an automobile accident. Have you fully recovered from that, or you have any after effects?
Yes, I didn't get injured in the automobile. It was just the passenger, Mike Vetrano, that got more bruises and cuts than I did.
When I get finished with you, you're going to think you're going to get hit by a Mack truck.
Well, I'm not really going out there to really knock him out. I'm going to punish him.
What you think?
You sound like my father when I was a little kid. You're going to punish me. I'm 20 now. Are you 24? How you going to punish me, man? I'm the best light heavyweight ever. You going to punish me? Come on, man.
Well, just a couple of guys with contrasting points of view. Making his way out toward the ring. 3 days ago, there was a question whether there would be a Snipes-Muhammad matchup with Renaldo involved in an automobile accident.
Yes, as you can see, it was bad for the car, but not bad for Renaldo. He had assorted cuts and bruises and abrasions, but he is totally recovered and no factor in this fight whatsoever.
Renaldo says he is fine. Eddie Mustafa Muhammad says he is ready, but further you look at the tail of the tape, and Snipes with a decisive 6-inch advantage in reach, and of course that sudden weight change of Muhammad, a major factor.
The major factor is the sudden weight change. The fact that he went from 190 pounds last week to 201 pounds is decisive. That's 11 pounds and 3/4 he put on. And therefore, that will be the factor in the fight that's the most interesting.
All right, the one rap against Eddie Mustafa Muhammad is he tends to get lazy, doesn't always properly prepare himself for his fights. That's a subject that we discussed with the 5-time world champion, Emil Griffith.
Sudden fights he's not up for. You have to be up for sudden fights. I work with him. I've been with him. He's a terrific gentleman to work with, really. He tries. He does everything he has to do. But you have to get him keyed up for the fight.
It should be mentioned that those weren't the gloves that Emil Griffith used in the ring in his day. We talked with Emil at last week's New York Boxing Writers Dinner. Coming up, it'll be round one. Eddie Mustafa Muhammad and Renaldo Snipes. Eddie Mustafa Muhammad delayed in coming out, now making his way toward the ring. Renaldo Snipes is already in the ring. Eddie Mustafa, record of 38-4-1 with 32 knockouts. His 4 losses in his first professional fight to Radames Cabrera. Lost a split decision to Benny Briscoe. That was back in '74. Lost to James Scott at Rahway State Prison. He says that loss turned his career around, and he lost the title bout to Victor Galindez. Right now, we're set for the introduction, so let's go to the ring announcer. Here's Frank Shane.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Bally's Park Place in Atlantic City. This afternoon, in association with Momentum Enterprises, Lou Falsino promoter, and Ron King matchmaker, and Tiffany Promotions, Sam Glass promoter, Johnny Boz co-matchmaker, and Ron Katz take great pleasure in presenting an afternoon of boxing. This is the stellar attraction of the afternoon, 10 rounds. In the red corner, he's wearing blue trunks, trimmed with gold, weighed in at 215 pounds even, from Yonkers, New York. He's undefeated, 20-0, Renaldo Snipes. Renaldo Snipes. And in this corner, he's wearing green trunks, trimmed with gold, weighed in at 201.75 pounds. He's formerly from the Brownsville section of Brooklyn, now residing in Gothenburg, New Jersey. The World Boxing Association light heavyweight champion, Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. Mustafa Muhammad. Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, the undefeated light heavyweight champion of the world, Archie Moore. Archie Moore.
He's in the corner.
The referee is Vince Renoni, and the judges are Paul Cavalieri and William Kostrup. Under the New Jersey Athletic Commission, 2 judges and the referee score the fight. There's no 3 knockdown rule. It's up to the referee to stop the fight. On a knockdown, there is a mandatory 8 count. Scoring on a round system with a supplementary 5-point system only if the bout concludes even in rounds. The WBA light heavyweight champion Eddie Mustafa Muhammad facing this man, Renaldo Snipes, 1-time Illinois Golden Gloves champion, unbeaten in 20 professional bouts, and we are looking at a very heavy Eddie Mustafa Muhammad in the green trunks.
Rolls of flab around the middle of Eddie Mustafa Muhammad.
He usually fights at 175 pounds. He is up to 201 3/4. Snipes at 6'3", 220.
And Snipes doing exactly the opposite as he said he was going to do. He's going to rush out across and try to overpower Eddie and not try to box with him. Instead, he has chosen to try to box with him. Maybe he sees all that flab and decides he'll get tired.
This is round 1, scheduled for 10.
Eddie with his arms down, trying to tempt Renaldo to come in, almost with disdain. Look at Eddie.
Gotta wonder about that attitude, Ferdy.
Well, he's a tough kid from the streets, and he's got all of those victories, all of those consecutive knockouts. He figures he can take this kid and knock him out.
Now, why would Snipes be reluctant? Great. He might be psyched into taking a shot. Mustafa come right back in.
What they don't want him to do is to try to rumble with a man that can punch as hard as Eddie Mustafa.
Mustafa Muhammad with a grin on his face, looking very confident against Renaldo Snipes.
But blowing the first round, you notice he hasn't done anything. Snipes not using his size to the advantage that he can. He's blocking him. He should grab him, maul him, push him to the ropes, and make him get tired.
That's the first attempted blow by Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, who was ready to shave off his whiskers and beard at the weigh-in yesterday.
That's the New Jersey rule. Bob Lee sticks to it whether you're a champion or not. That's the way it should be in boxing, impartial.
Just under 30 seconds left in round one. Again, Snipes looking to unleash with the right hand.
He's trying to lull him to sleep with that left jab and then land a very hard right, but you're not going to do that on a great champion like Eddie Mustafa Muhammad.
Renaldo Snipes, ranked 12th by Ring Magazine. Among his recent victories, knockouts of Wayne Fonz, Larry Alexander, 10-round decision over veteran Leroy Boone. Again, a look at the tail of the tape. Renaldo Snipes weighing in at 215. We mentioned earlier that Mustafa Muhammad has put on better than 25 pounds. He is over 25 more than he usually weighs in at 175 as a light heavyweight. And Snipes with that 6-inch reach advantage. Deadly first round. Nothing happening.
Deadly is right.
And this is round two, scheduled for 10. And now let's see how Eddie Mustafa Muhammad addresses himself to Renaldo Snipes. He tried the psych-out procedure in round one.
It's not in Eddie's favor to let these rounds roll by.
Muhammad won the light heavyweight championship, WBA version, March of 1980. Knocked out Marvin Johnson in the 11th round in Knoxville, Tennessee. In his previous title shot, lost a 15-round decision to Victor Galindez.
Snipes did not come out and attack as he said he was, and that may be a mistake because he's got to overpower a fat and flabby Eddie Mustafa Muhammad.
Close the glove, close it.
A warning from the referee, Vince Ranoni, to close the glove. Snipes is hitting with an open glove. He's trying to flick out a jab like Ali did, but Ali always closed his fist and stung you with the jab. Archie Moore, the old mongoose, giving it some thought in the corner. What can he do different? How can he close in on this kid? Eddie looks like he's waiting for a shot. He knows he can punch hard, and he's not in the least bit impressed with this kid.
And we're halfway through round two. Renaldo Snipes in the blue, Eddie Mustafa Muhammad in the green. Renaldo unbeaten in 20 professional fights, won 11 by knockout. Comes off that brawl-fighting confrontation with Jumbo Cummings, seen here on NBC Sports World back on the 8th of March.
Renaldo is undefeated but once bitten.
Muhammad looking to load up on a powerful right hand.
You can see it cocked. He wants to come right over a Renaldo Snipes left that has been dropping after he jabs. He drops it, and Eddie, with all that fighters, could see it. If you watch the middle and the back of Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, you see what I'm saying when I say that he's heavy, but not a heavyweight.
Snipes has mistimed on several occasions over the first two rounds.
Eddie's ice cold and very slow. Mr. Snipes has not made up his mind to take control of this fight.
And we are final seconds, round two. To the corner of Eddie Mustafa Muhammad listening to the advice of former light heavyweight champion Archie Moore. Let's take a listen as we watch in round 3.
You didn't follow with the left hook, you understand, see? See? When you shoot the right hand up, body, follow the left hook coming up, you understand, see? Because you got it on top. So you put 4 or 5 together. Get it. Time to cut. Just continue to cut him off. Cut it off. Get it down. Get it down. Step to your right.
Archie Moore with some rather meaningless advice at that moment. Panama Dudley, Archie Moore, Cassius Green all working in the corner, and they all seem to be very confident that time will just tell in this fight. It looks like they're waiting for it to happen.
Now that's the best barrage thrown by Eddie Mustafa Muhammad as he went to the body of Renaldo Snipes.
That's the first real fighting that he's done in this fight. Snipes is very tentative. He looks very cold. There's Michael Spinks watching. He must be licking his lips saying, boy, this guy's got to get off 26 1/4 pounds before he fights me.
And it is speculated that Eddie Mustafa Muhammad will defend his light heavyweight title against Michael Spinks.
Snipes just landed 3 punches that has stood Eddie up on his heels there. Snipes is counting on that one shot, Marv. You cannot do that with a great champion like Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. You got to keep punching.
Eddie Mustafa Muhammad actually began his career as a Golden Gloves champion as a welterweight.
Well, he's a picture of slow motion right now. He is just frozen solid. It's not an interesting fight up to this point because Snipes doesn't look like he has warmed to the task, and Eddie just doesn't seem to get interested in this fight. He's doing an Eddie Gregory, not an Eddie Mustafa Muhammad.
That has been the rap against Muhammad in past years, that he would not always be interested, although the way he was talking the last couple of days, you certainly have the idea he was interested. Landing that straight left on Snipes. Well, he was interested in collecting the money. A warning by the referee, Vincent Rainoni.
I didn't see what that warning was for. His back was to us. I could not see what that warning was for.
Good left hand by Muhammad. And we're final seconds, 3rd round. The referee, Vincent Rainoni, just came over to tell us that he took the round away from Eddie Mustafa Muhammad for hitting on the break. That's what that warning was during the course of the 3rd round. How do you score to this point?
Well, that puts Snipes in a perfect position. He's been doing all the fighting. Eddie's just been waiting for something to happen, and therefore, I've got Snipes ahead.
And this is round 4. We're scheduled for 10. That time Muhammad was pushed, and Rainoni says, watch the push.
Slowly but surely, Snipes is narrowing the distance between them, which may be to his disadvantage, because when he gets close enough, that's when he's going to feel the sting of Eddie's gloves. Eddie is not doing anything to get close. He just... Oh, beautiful counterpunch by Snipes. Beautiful counterpunch by Snipes, which stunned Eddie Gregory. Eddie Mustafa Muhammad.
Those were the most telling blows of the bout to this point.
He must have done something to Eddie Mustafa because he hasn't done any fighting since then. He's standing still. He's not trying to come in. He's not trying to cut the distance.
Halfway through round 4, Renaldo Snipes telling us earlier that he was going to show Eddie Mustafa Muhammad what the heavyweight division is all about. Snipes says Muhammad is running from fast-rising Michael Spinks into fast-riding Renaldo Snipes.
Well, there's only one man in there doing the punching now. The crowd's getting very unhappy because it takes 2 to tango, and Eddie's not doing anything.
In fact, the crowd booed Muhammad at the end of the first round because he came out with the hands down and was talking Snipes. It has not exactly been action-packed to this point.
And it hasn't been action-packed because it takes two people to fight. You just can't stand in the middle of the ring. Eddie's got to do something positive to get in close to Renaldo Snipes. It's Renaldo's fight. As long as he moves around and just pip-pops along, he doesn't need to do anything else.
Mustafa Muhammad saying, hey, let's fight. Although it has been Snipes who has been attempting to throw the punches. In fact, Snipes showing his confidence upon occasion will drop the right. Final seconds. This is round 4. And this is round 5 from Bally's Park Place Hotel, Atlantic City, New Jersey. Marv Albert and the fight doctor, Ferdy Pacheco. The light heavyweight champion, WBA version, Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, has not shown much crime to this point. Not much has taken place. Renaldo Snipes, the young heavyweight, out of Yonkers, New York. He grew up in Waukegan, Illinois. Eddie Mustafa Muhammad out of Brooklyn, New York, out of the Bronzeville section of Brooklyn. And the crowd has been getting on Muhammad because he has not been throwing punches.
It's hard to throw punches when you're carrying 26 3/4 pounds of fat on your back. And that's what he's doing. He's showing the effects of that weight. I have Snipes ahead. Everything has happened. He's doubling up on his jab. They've told him in the corner, watch out now. He's going to get aggressive. He knows he's 4 rounds behind. And that he has to do. Eddie Mustafa has to get aggressive.
And a look at Jerry Cooney coming off the 54-second special against Ken Norton at Madison Square Garden last Monday night. If you were with us earlier, you heard Archie Moore, Eddie Mustafa Muhammad's trainer, saying that Muhammad will also knock out Cooney in short time.
Imagine Cooney's chuckling over that remark right now. In the meantime, we have Renaldo Snipes circling around like an Indian around a wagon train, popping away double, triple jabs, being cautious, and making a boring fight out of this.
Again, Muhammad looking to pop that right hand.
He's got murder in his eye.
He's telegraphing again for...
Yes, he's got mayhem in his eye, but it doesn't help you if you don't throw any punches out there. Well, he's not throwing anything. Ronaldo's popping, popping, popping. First good jab by Eddie Mustafa Muhammad has moved Snipes along the ropes, but he has not landed after that first good jab.
Following this 5th round, we will visit in the corner of Renaldo Snipes. Our scorecard has Snipes in front throughout. In fact, Muhammad had a round taken away from him by the referee Renaldo for hitting on the break.
And paradoxically enough, that was the only round that he might have won.
And we're final seconds, round 5, as the walk-around continues. And you hear the reaction from the crowd. They have not appreciated what has taken place. As you look at Renaldo Snipes.
Deep breath, baby.
You ain't gonna win around!
No, we don't need that. You're there. You're the champ. Winning. We got it. We first class. First class.
He won't win around.
That's it. You're gonna shut him out. We first class, baby. We first class.
First class.
Get your legs out. Get your hand down. Relax.
You're champion. You're champion.
Everybody keep quiet. Get your legs out, man. Get your hand down. Take deep breaths.
Relax, young.
Take one,
I got nothing. Thank the jail. Take the jab and watch the right hand go this way. Okay? And watch that right hand when you think. Okay? And turn that hook over the top. Right? Cut it short. Cut it here. No? Cut it across the chest. Right?
Jake, that's enough, Jake. That's enough. Don't tell him too much, man.
Renaldo Snipes listening to former light heavyweight contender Herschel Jacobs. His trainer, also in the corner, Fred Spry, the Reverend Jimmy Williams, who is Renaldo's adoptive father. This is round 6. It has been all Renaldo Snipes in the blue and Eddie Mustafa Muhammad unloading the right hand.
Just what they warned him about in the corner. Now, Eddie has come forward. What he should have done for the first round, he is doing now. He's lost the first 5 rounds.
Snipes not able to connect with that left hand. Had he made contact, it would be all over.
Well, those are sort of shots across the bow. They're just warning him that that's what's coming if he keeps coming closer.
This is round 6, scheduled for 10. Still a long way to go, but it's been Snipes from the opening bell. Left hand.
Snipes getting too cocky with that left hand. A beautiful right was timed by Eddie Mustafa that just missed, but the thought was perfect behind it. Snipes is just jabbing him to death, just pecking away to the body, to the head, to the body, to the head. I cannot understand what's keeping Eddie Mustafa from coming on. Those jabs aren't stiff enough to keep you off.
Gotta go get it, man. Come on, man.
And Snipes will look very tentative in the first round. Obviously showing much confidence as the fight has progressed.
As the rounds go, his confidence is getting bigger and bigger, and it may get the best of him toward the end when Eddie has to come out with a knockout. Look at how high Eddie's glove is held, the right hand. He's worried about the hook coming after that jab.
And less than 1 minute remaining in round 6. Good combination by Muhammad.
Break out. Break out.
First good fighting in a long time by Eddie. Oh, a beautiful right hand just missed by Snipes.
Snipes appears to be cut under the left eye.
It's a little bruise more than a cut, I think. A little drop of blood. Four jabs and a right hand right afterwards, and now Snipes falling and pushing him and causing his.
And a demonstration by the referee, Vince Rainoni, who's been very active. Final seconds, 6th round. On to the 7th round. Renaldo Snipes in the blue. Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, the WBA light heavyweight champion of the green. Looks like
Renaldo stepped on a camera and turned his ankle. That's the danger of having cameramen right on with their cameras on the ring apron. He twisted his elbow stepping on a camera. Strange things happen on the way to the championship. Eddie Mustafa has ripped his shorts. All of that flab is rented his green trunks in twain.
There was a still camera on the apron of the ring that made contact with Renaldo Snipes. There it is.
What cameramen often do is leave their cameras on the ring apron, and that's where the menace is. I'm deadly against that.
How do you score to this point, Bertie?
To this point, Snipes way ahead. Way ahead. I think one more round for Snipes, and Eddie will have to have a knockout to win.
Back in March of '77. Eddie Mustafa Muhammad had his first fight as a light heavyweight, and after being knocked out in the first round, came back to win a unanimous 10-round decision over Matthew Franklin, now known as Matthew Saad Muhammad, currently the WBC light heavyweight champ.
Great right hand by Eddie Mustafa. Snipes getting a little careless.
Eddie Mustafa won the title March of '80, knocking out Marvin Johnson. And his goal has been, and he said it over the years, to enter the heavyweight ranks. Renaldo Snipes.
Snipes cooking.
Snipes looking to put Eddie Mustafa away. Muhammad covering up.
And now Snipes is cut by a butt. There's a cut over the right eyebrow. Renaldo Snipes on a butt.
And the referee Vince Renoni breaks the fighters.
Renaldo now satisfied to punch and fall into clinches and try to overpower him. Get him tired. Now they're both trading pretty even punches.
Snipes getting the jab in as we approach the end of round 7.
Okay, now. Get up, down. Get down. Get that bucket down. Here you go.
Again, it was Archie Moore, the one-time light heavyweight champion, who has had more than his share of problems against heavyweights, providing advice for Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. Renaldo Snipes coming out here in round 8, Purdy looking for the knockout.
Shouldn't do that. He's got this fight in the bag. If he keeps fighting the way he's been fighting, he does not need to gamble with Eddie now.
How about that cut, that bruise?
The cut has been opened over his eye, but it's under control. I don't think it's a factor in this fight at all right now.
Archie Moore looking on in the corner.
Give up crap, man.
Of Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. This a non-action fight over the first 5 rounds.
But it's heating up now. Now the fat's in the fire. As the corner phrase, the fat is in the fire because Eddie has got to pull us out with a knockout. He cannot win a decision now.
Eddie Mustafa Muhammad has come up with knockouts over 2 journeyman-type heavyweights in James Dixon and Fred Brown. He does have 7 consecutive knockouts. Renaldo Snipes in the category of up-and-coming young heavyweight.
Renaldo Snipes showing superb training. He is down to 215, and you can see it. He looks like he's going to be able to go like this for 10 rounds. He doesn't look tired. He just keeps that incessant left jab in Eddie's face. Story of the fight.
And Freddie, when we make the comparisons to Archie Moore, of course, Moore fought heavyweight champions as a light heavyweight. Muhammad going against an up-and-coming heavyweight. So there is a difference in terms of who these guys have faced.
Definitely. If he can't do any better than this against a 20-0 heavyweight, he has no business in with Jerry Cooney, Larry Holmes, or Now it's a completely different fight. Now it's Eddie Mustafa Muhammad stalking, willing to pay the price of eating those jabs, but he's getting closer. And you can see that he is really getting that right hand cocked.
Less than a minute remaining. Round 8 scheduled for 10. Learning experience for Renaldo Snipes, who must learn to counterpunch.
He hasn't needed to do anything this time. He just needed to do an alley, just a jump around and do a left jab. Every once in a while, cross his right. There's his right hand.
And Muhammad has now put himself in a situation where he must come up with a knockout, and he's got Snipes with the left hand. Tries to go to the right as time runs out round 8. Marv Albert and the fight doctor, Ferdy Pacheco from Atlantic City, New Jersey, Bally's Park Place Hotel on the boardwalk in Atlantic City. This is round number 9. And Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, the WBA light heavyweight champion, needs a knockout to come away with the victory over Renaldo Snipes.
And that's a surprise to many people that thought that Eddie Gregory would come right out and knock this young, fresh kid off. But he didn't.
But he didn't come out at all. He did not look like he wanted to fight.
I don't think Eddie came to the fight till the 6th round, did he? His body was there, but he wasn't.
And if you were with us earlier when we canvassed boxing people, just about everyone we talked to said Eddie Mustafa Muhammad would beat Renaldo Snipes.
I think that's before they knew he was going to come in at 201 pounds. 190 pounds, Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, something else.
This a minute in, round number 9. Again, Snipes trying the roundhouse. Of course, we're talking that Eddie Mustafa Muhammad needs a knockout, but when it comes to scoring a fight, you never know. But it looks to be clear-cut.
I will abdicate from boxing if this is a close fight.
What's
I will be watching something else. Oh, good right hand by Renaldo, right on the jaw of Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, but it didn't move him.
Halfway through round 9.
Snipes trying to gamble a little bit. I don't understand why. He's got a clear-cut thing going for him here.
The two judges and the referee score the fight. And scoring on a round system with the supplementary 5-point. Only if the bout concludes even in rounds.
That 5-inch reach is really telling now when they try to out-jab each other.
Muhammad tried the lunging left. Referee Rainoni breaks the fight. Next week from San Remo, Italy, another edition of Tomorrow's Champions here on NBC, featuring unbeaten sensation Tony Ayala against Pat Allison. And we'll get another look at Alex Ramos. That's next Sunday from San Remo, Italy, right here on NBC. Final seconds, round 9, and we will hold it right here to go into the corner of Renaldo Snipes Mustafa. Hearing it from the crowd, you think the fight was over off the reaction of Renaldo Snipes.
Round.
Last turn.
Huh?
That's the last turn.
10th round? 4 out, man. Last one, baby. Got to come on now.
That's the first one. So we're going to take this one out good.
A look at a right hand thrown by Renaldo Snipes.
Right on the jaw, and it did not move Eddie Mustafa, but gains a lot of points. And now we go down to Snipes.
Give me that jab, throw a lot of heavy punches on him.
You got me?
And Archie Moore with some words
Go get him, brother.
for Eddie Mustafa Muhammad.
Stop that, nigga. Don't let it break. Go get him, Tom.
Don't let it break.
Archie's massaging his leg, but he hasn't said a word to him. Panama is saying, go get him, champ. We got to need this knockout.
Bertie, you know, you look at Muhammad, very fast as a light heavyweight, but very slow here as a heavyweight. Then again, you wonder, does this fight have meaning for the guy? You know, he talked about it beforehand, but you have to wonder.
Yeah, the meaning is to stay in the light heavyweights and forget the heavyweights.
Yeah.
We got a whole round to go. That's 3 minutes, and a lot of strange things have happened in 3 minutes. A cocky young kid, 20-0. He doesn't know what can happen in these last 3 minutes, so.
Renaldo Snipes, 24-year-old, unbeaten heavyweight. In the blue trunks, the WBA light heavyweight champion Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, who is earmarked for a bout against Michael Spinks. Speculated bout, Spinks in attendance.
Well, Spinks has just got to be licking his chops. I cannot see how he cannot be happy with this fight.
Of course, it's a different situation against the light heavyweight, Spinks.
Again, the referee referee warned him to close his glove, not to flick out that jab. It doesn't make much difference now. But it could cost him the round.
And there's Michael Spinks in the lower portion of the screen.
Here comes Eddie.
Well, he's trying to rally here in the 10th and final round. He has shown these spurts. That has been it.
The referee eating up the clock with a very slow break. That took an awful long time.
Bernie, I look at your scorecard. You have it virtually as a shutout.
It's a virtual shutout. It's an embarrassment for Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. Certainly a man with a lot of pride and a lot of dedication to the sport. I just don't think he took this kid seriously.
And Muhammad did have one round taken away by the referee for hitting on the break.
I think Snipes is up into the tall cotton of the top 10 contenders with this fight. And he's still got a minute to go, so it's not that easy yet. Certainly does a lot for his stock.
Snipes landed a powerful left hand on Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. 30 seconds left, 10th and final round. Renaldo Snipes, 24 years old, Yonkers, New York, continues to pound at Eddie Mustafa Muhammad.
A beautiful right hand.
And he knows he has Muhammad in big trouble. The only question here is Eddie Mustafa lasting out these final seconds, which he does. So that is it. Well, it was not 10 rounds of excitement, but for Renaldo Snipes, a major step forward. The decision, the official decision, is upcoming. The ring announcer, Frank Shane, collecting the cards. And we'll have that announcement in just a moment. For Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, I thought an embarrassing afternoon because he was so intent on going into the heavyweight ranks and really did not prepare himself for what took place here today. Let's go to the ring.
Clear the ring. I'm waiting for the commissioner's cards.
Ring. I boxed him. I told you I was going to punish him. I wasn't going to knock him out.
Renaldo Snipes,
Here is the voting of the
who has
official.
been counting on the victory from the fourth round on now. We're set for the decision.
Roy, on the bell, Roy. Here's the voting of the officials. Referee Vinny Renone penalized Eddie Mustafa Muhammad the third round for hitting on the break. Vinny Renone scored 7 rounds Snipes, 2 rounds Muhammad, 1 round even. Judge William Castro, 9 rounds Snipes, 1 round Muhammad. Judge Paul Cavalier, 3 rounds Snipes, 5 rounds Muhammad,